Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Samuel Kim and Keenan Curran. This is Deep Ball. Appreciate you guys all for tuning in. We got Samori Toure on with us. He is part of the New Orleans Saints, and we are very, very happy to have him on. How you doing, my dog?
I'm good, man. Excited to chop it up with my guys, man. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. It's
Yeah.
been a minute. So you're coming up on year 5 in the NFL, bro. Like, how does that feel?
It feels crazy, bro. Honestly, like even this last year, like when people are asking me how long I've been in the league, and I say 4 years, I'm like, damn, it, it's had a lot of ups and downs, but it's a blessing to be able to say, I've been in the league 4 years. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people didn't think I would make it this far, even me. So I'm just blessed to still be sticking around.
Man, let's touch on that, right? It's not one of our questions, but like talk about self-belief and some of the roller coaster of emotions that you feel, right, in the NFL, kind of in your journey. But what has kept you going?
Yeah. I mean, bro, it's a lot. Like, not even just in the NFL, but like high school career, college career too. I had to overcome a lot of obstacles. Not being like the highly touted guy. Like Sam knows this, and you know this too. Like coming into Montana, like really my only real offer was on a half scholarship. Uh, Coming to the league,
The half.
kind of the same scenario, bro. It's like it's kind of a fighting an uphill battle, So like dealing with that in high school and college kind of prepared me for the NFL. I wasn't coming in like I'm the big man on campus and expected stuff to be handed to me. It's just had to work for everything at every level. So I'm just kind of doing what I've always been doing.
Love that job.
Man, that's been obviously you've had a journey. You were drafted to the Green Bay Packers initially in the 7th round, waived and signed by the Bears, signed by the Broncos, and now you're with the New Orleans Saints. What would you say you've learned throughout the time, like with all those stops? Like, is there something you learned at each stop? Has it just been a learning experience the whole way? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've been learning, every step of the way. I've always been trying to, just soak up all the knowledge, that I could possibly do. Um, Learned it like the most I would say my rookie year. Just coming in, it's a whole new thing, and I was blessed to be around a lot of like not good vets. My rookie year,
Yeah.
I was in the Packers. With A-Rod, with Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins, Alan Lazard, all in my room.
I forgot about
So
all
like
that.
that was like a loaded room to be in, and for them to just kind of like put all the rookies under their wing, me, Romeo, and Christian, and just kind of like just show us how to work. I heard a lot of stories like even of them telling me that when they were rookies they didn't have like really good like leaders and vets. Sometimes it's every man for himself because they understand that they're drafting dudes to take their job. But I was lucky to have some really good vets that taught me a lot.
Nice, man. And I would like to think you had that in college a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know, right? But kind of touch on like some of the differences, right? Now you've been a couple places and you've seen it's not always like that. Like
Yeah.
college, obviously everybody's working together, you're working for a common goal. It's a little bit different. When you get to the NFL, it's like everybody's a grown adult, right? You got
Yeah.
families, you wives and kids and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like talk about some of the differences of college locker rooms to NFL locker rooms, and even now, like that you've been a couple places. What are the biggest differences that you see?
Yeah. So college, bro, you can't really compare it to college locker room, bro, because like it's just a different brotherhood in college. Like football is a brotherhood regardless, but like, you know, just in college, like we had a great room. Shout out to Keenan the vet. I gotta give you your due. He was a great vet to us and showed us the ropes for sure. But like in college, like we're hanging out off the field all the time. Like
Yeah.
live together, with some of my teammates and always hanging out. So that's just kind of different because like you're always together in college. But in the NFL, it's like you said, everyone has like their own family and their own stuff. You'll still hang out, obviously, outside of the field with like certain guys, but just having everyone together all the time is that's not really the thing. But the locker room in general is like similar, like what goes on in the locker room. A lot of
Yeah.
jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's coming from different backgrounds, so that's something that's like so beautiful about football is that it brings everybody together. Like, you got dudes from the ranch in Montana, you got dudes from big cities, in which you would never see or hang out with them if it wasn't for football. So I,
Facts.
I think it's dope that it kind of brings everybody together.
So you've played with Jordan Love, Bo Nix, Aaron Rodgers, Caleb Williams. Now, obviously, you guys got Tyler Shuck at in New Orleans. But obviously, Aaron Rodgers is the elder statesman of that group, and obviously a future Hall of Famer in that group. Do you see any of Aaron Rodgers and any of those guys that you have played with, like the Caleb Williams, the Bo Nix, the Jordan Loves, like any of the guys that you have seen in some of your stops in the NFL?
Yeah, I've seen like bits and I mean A-Rod's A-Rod. He's his own
Facts.
entity. He's a GOAT.
Facts.
Like you can't really compare him to none of them. But I've seen bits and pieces of A-Rod and all those players. Jordan Love the most probably, like maybe play wise, just because he was under him for 4 years. So and from everything I heard, A-Rod was a great vet to J Love, something that he may not have gotten when he was coming up with Brett Favre.
Yep.
They had their whole thing going on. So he was like he didn't like that, and he was especially good with J Love. So you can tell just by the way J Love plays, like he watched him a lot with his footwork, with his kind of awkward fading throws off the back foot, and kind of just doing his own checks when it comes to it. Like he's very similar to A-Rod in that way, but like leadership style wise, it was way different because J Love is more quiet, kind of like self like preserved almost, but he's still a great leader and he'll speak up when he needs to, but he's not as vocal as A-Rod was. With Caleb was like football wise, you see similarities, and you don't even have to play with him to kind of realize that. Like
right.
Those clutch moments where you got to just turn into a superhero, avoid 3 sacks, make somebody miss, and throw it down the field on the run. Like that's what Caleb does, and that's what A-Rod did very well too, as far as like scramble drill and kind of just making stuff up on the run. Caleb was very similar to A-Rod in that. Bo Nix, I mean, the Broncos, bro, it kind of like, I don't want to say it doesn't count, but like, bro, I was there for
a couple weeks.
Yeah, like all right now. I was there for like a month.
My bad.
Yeah, it's like that's not a lot of time to be with him, but like everything I saw from Bo Nix, he was like professional. He was, I'll say he's similar to A-Rod in the sense that he likes to run the ship, and he's not afraid to speak up about like what he sees out there. Like him and Sean have that kind of similar relationship that A-Rod and LaFleur did, where it's not just like I'm coach, you listen to me. It's like it's more of a conversation. So I've heard him, not get on Sean, but be like let's go. I like this out there. I don't like this play that we caught. I like this.
Yeah.
So
he's a coach's son.
Yeah, exactly. Like he knows his stuff. And then Tyler, I'll say similarly with the leadership. Like, bro, Tyler was a rookie, obviously, but I came in late in the season and he had only been starting, I think, a couple weeks. But he was already he was breaking down the huddle. He was pulling people to the side, like receivers. Hey, I like when you run the route like this. Like he's just a natural, like mature leader. So I saw that similarity with him and A-Rod as well.
Nice, man. You got to see some really good young talent, and obviously, in my book, probably the best arm talent of a quarterback ever. And then some guys that are like now established, right, with J Love, just kind of being, I think he's A-Rod Jr., but maybe a little taller, and I don't want to say a little more athletic, but he's super athletic. Want to bring you back to college a little bit, and maybe not back to college, but talking about a lot of our audience is Grizz fans. Yeah. There was a fan, and I've gone to bat, right? I have argued with Grizz fans I've argued with Grizz fans and Nebraska fans. Yeah. But there was a fan who said, I don't see Samori as a Grizz after he left, or something along those lines, right?
Yeah, I think it was something like, I wouldn't consider him like a Grizz legend or something like that because he went to Nebraska.
Crazy talk. So obviously, the question is, do you see those things when they're posted, and what are your thoughts about where home is for you when it comes to your college career?
Yeah, that I don't see a lot of them, but I saw that one because that dude was bold, bro. He tagged me like I respect
Yeah.
that part of it. He said at Samori Toure, like I said, okay, damn, he's shooting shots. Um, and then yeah, I hit Sam about it too because I was like, I hit Sam. I was like, do I reply to this? Because like I never replied to like none of that stuff. But that one like I didn't like have me mad or anything. But I kind of wanted to reply and make my case. But my dog Sam went to bat for me in the comments, so I didn't really accept it.
Yeah, maybe just send him a picture of your degree and just
Yeah,
say,
like bro, I mean, just the stats. Like you can't really like deny that type of stuff.
yeah,
But I guess I can see where he's coming from, especially now with the transfer portal. I
Yeah.
think that was the day somebody had transferred from Montana, so he was really mad about that. But he was kind
yeah,
of pointing
In
at
his feelings a little bit.
yeah. But
yeah.
I look at Montana as my home, bro. Like that's kind of where I was molded into the receiver that I am. Shout out to the coaches there. Shout out Coach Pease, 100%. Just because I learned a lot of my craft there, and that allowed me. I came in there, played slot, then switched to outside. Like I made my name there. And yeah, I
Hmm.
transferred to Nebraska my last year. And a lot of love for Nebraska too because they were super supportive of me as well. But I consider I was at Montana for 5 years, bro. So that's kind of where I consider my home.
So we get to hear it from the horse's mouth directly.
Yeah,
What
and
led you to leave?
it's no love lost to Mr. Colorado or whatever his name is, but
I
like
mean,
just look at the stats, bro. Like, come on now.
what would you say led you to leave Montana? Like, what was
Um,
the nail in the coffin for you, really?
the nail in the coffin was COVID for sure.
Yep.
I was ready to stay there because I had thought about it like earlier, like right after my junior season,
They
because
don't
I'm
know
like,
about that.
yeah, because I could have graduated early and then went straight to somewhere else and played that 2020 year. But I wanted to just finish it out at Montana. And we were under the impression that we were gonna play in 2020 for that
Yep.
season. So when like right before the season, we realized that we weren't gonna have a season and they were maybe gonna play in the spring, that's kind of when I decided to pull the trigger. Hoping I could just get somewhere right away and play, but I had to sit out that whole 2020 year, which was weird because it was my first time not playing football
Yep.
since I was, however old, third grade. So that
Legit.
was kind of what pushed it.
Okay, that gives us a lot of kind of insight into that, and I think I kind of had an idea that it was that COVID year that threw everybody off.
Yeah,
I would say, and it just gives you more time to think, and I think more time to think in a position that you were in, coming off the season that you just had.
exactly. Because
It's
I,
kind
I
of
was I was also thinking about declaring also,
yeah,
and I had a conversation with Coach Houck. I was like, look, if I get that Senior Bowl invite, I'm just gonna declare now because it
Yeah.
could kind of give me a better platform, to kind of show. Because I felt like in my head the only thing that NFL scouts would say is that we haven't seen him against FBS competition. Like we haven't seen him
Yeah.
against the best of the best. And even though I know and we know there's not that big of a difference between FCS and FBS when it comes to skill positions, like receivers and DBs, there's not that big of a difference. And I noticed that when I played. Uh, but I didn't think that scouts, and I still don't think scouts see it like that. Like they'll use anything they can to kind of dock you. So I feel
Yep.
like they would be like, well, he's good. He was an All American, this and that, but he didn't play against nobody. So in my head, I'm like, okay, if I get a Senior Bowl invite, I can get the reps against those top guys. But I didn't end up getting that. So I said, the only way to get that opportunity is to go play at that level.
yeah.
So I don't
Well,
know if I asked you. Let me
yeah,
get into this real quick
yeah,
about the
yeah.
portal. Now that we're on the portal, I don't know if I asked you this when I had you on my main channel, but I do want to ask, like, all these kids jump into the portal and they think it's sweet and all that stuff. Like, you were in the portal. You know what it was like. You know what those calls look like. What was it
Yeah,
like in the portal
pre
for real,
NIL.
for pre
Yeah,
NIL?
it's funny because I was kind of looking forward to it a little bit
Yeah.
because when I was in high school, I didn't get that recruitment attention. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it wasn't like I'm getting these letters in the mail, I'm getting these in-home visits and all that stuff. Like I wasn't getting that. So when I hit the pro, I'm like, all right, like maybe this time, coaches will show a little love, this and that. But when I got into it, I realized, I wasn't missing out on anything. Like, because with
Yeah.
recruiting, it's like you don't know who's telling you the truth, you don't know who's lying to you or kind of making things sound better than they are. And it was tough too because, like I said, it was that COVID year, so a lot of teams like had me on their radar that I always wanted to, like Oregon, Miami, Baylor. Like it was a lot of big school, Tennessee, that were like hitting me up like, yo, like we want you, but since everybody got another year, they were like, well, I don't know if this guy's leaving or he's staying. So like if he
Yeah.
leaves, we got a spot for you. If they don't leave, then what are we gonna do? So with that, dudes ended up, staying, but I ended up going with Nebraska just because they like were really communicative with me. Like they're like, well, we need a guy, and I saw that this is Power Five conference, and I saw an opportunity for me to make a difference right away. But it was crazy. I was looking forward to it, and I ended up being like, I don't miss that, and I didn't miss out on anything. Like I just want to be
Yeah.
where I'm gonna go and get to business.
Man, that is, especially now when people hear about the portal, they just think hop in, everybody wants you, and it's like these are guys. I mean, we've talked about guys in the portal. You're like, man, why are you jumping in the portal? Like the kids now, you're like, what are you doing? You just came off a season where you had like 12 catches. Why are you in the portal?
But you didn't even play. Why are you?
Yeah, exactly. But then to hear you were like elite.
I was an All-American. This phone really ain't ringing. Like, I was expecting it to ring. Like,
hey, you guys got my
do I
number?
have the wrong number listed?
Yeah.
Man, that is funny.
You bring up a good point, though. It was a weird time with like all the guys returning, not returning. That definitely makes no sense.
But
I would argue the worst, right? Because it's like pre-NIL, so you couldn't get the bag that you were due, right?
Facts.
And then guys got an extra year. So it's like if anybody was in the portal and probably the hardest time, it was you, right? And you came out on top of it. So you made that jump to play against better competition. And my goodness, did you play? Boy, you played. Like it was, and that's probably the question that I wanted to ask is like, did you feel any responsibility to prove your stuff just for FCS guys? Like, man, I'm an FCS guy, but like, I'm a guy.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Because especially after, like I said, my phone wasn't ringing like I wanted it to. One team too, especially Oregon State, because I grew up, I loved Oregon State. My whole family's Oregon State fans, and they weren't like necessarily the best team when I was in the portal. But I was like, and I had my homie Jaden Grant played there too, and he was kind of putting in work with the coach to try to get me there too, but it didn't end up working out. So like them and just everyone else, I was kind of like, I was playing with the chip on my shoulder for sure to show that FCS guys can ball out at the next level.
That's dope,
man. When you watch first off, I want to ask you, obviously you played at Montana, which, we didn't win a ton when you were here, but like Montana has a culture. Montana has we won a decent amount. No, we won a decent amount.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. We didn't win Big Sky Championship.
Yes. But we had good seasons, but
Sam now a critic of everybody. Sam is a critic of, in hindsight, he's a critic.
I'm just trying to keep it real.
That's how it feels at Montana, though, because we never had a losing season when I was there, when I played. But when you don't win the game, it's like,
yes,
it kind of puts a stain on it. But
so you get what I'm saying? Like Montana's a winning organization, a winning school. Like we win a ton, yes, but we never won the Big Sky when we were there. We only beat. You didn't beat the Cats. I beat the Cats once, and I feel like I was 1-3. Like damn, like bruh, like yo, I feel some type of way about that, but. What I was going to say is going from a school like Montana to a school like Nebraska that has great culture. The fans are going to show up, but they didn't win a lot. What was like the contrast like that? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, bro. It's hard to like kind of chalk it up like to like one thing or another, but I think it was just like the way Coach Howe, ran his program, kind of like there was a lot more, I guess, like accountability, within the program. Like he was hard on us, bro. And like he was like that from the jump. It's like look, this is how I am. If you can't play and you can't like this doesn't you don't vibe with this, then you can get gone. Like we don't care who you are, you know. And it kind of, you know, we had to be in the front two rows of every class. We had to be 10 minutes early to every meeting. And in the moment, you're kind of like, oh my God, like, what is this dude on? Like, you know, why is it so important? But once you get through it and we play during the season, it's like, okay, like, I see the vision. I see what he's trying to do. And it wasn't really like that, you know, at Nebraska, you know, and obviously it's harder to run a program like that on a bigger stage, you know, because you got dudes that are like 5 stars, 4 stars, you know, who think they're him, you know. So it's like they think the rules don't apply to them, and you know, and stuff like that. So it's like it's hard to hold like that many people accountable like that. But
Yeah.
it was just tough, bro, because Nebraska had been coming off a lot of losing seasons, so it was like we had so many close games, bro. Like
Bruh.
I see Will Compton joke about it all the time. How
The best 3-9
all
team
year,
ever.
yeah, exactly, best 3-9 team of all time, and it's like I understand where he's coming from with that because, bro, we were in every single game. Like we were in every single game. It was super close, but it kind of like when we would like have leads and then lose them, it would be that mindset of here we go again. You know,
Yeah.
like we're and it's like it was kind of the same thing when I got to the Bears too. My first year with the Bears, Matt Eberflus's last year, it was like they had a history, you know, of losing seasons, and it was like we beat in games, and then when it gets close at the end, and it looks like we're down and out, it's like, oh, here we go again. So like you see the guys kind of lose belief
Mm-hmm.
and think like, oh, like kind of already chalk it up before the game's even over. So it was crazy to see the Bears too this year. Like they were all in those same situations and they persevered through it. They found a way to get it done. But that's kind of how it was in Nebraska. Like we'd be close and like it was my only year there. So I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, why are y'all acting like, you know, the game's already over? You know, but it's just because that's kind
It's a
of how
culture.
it was. Yeah, exactly. But
Man.
Nebraska's doing a lot better now, you know. But I had so much fun there, and they showed so much support. Shout out to Scott Frost, one of my favorite human beings of all time. Like he's super cool. Still keeps in touch with me. I'm glad he's over at UCF now, I believe. So
Right back.
you know, yeah, shout out to them. But it was a lot of big differences, bro. Like I said, when I was at Montana and all the strict rules and stuff, and then I got to Nebraska and it wasn't any of that just because that's not how it was. So it was kind of like a little culture shock, but you know, I enjoyed my time at both of those places for sure.
Is there anything? So obviously, Nebraska is Nebraska, right? Is there, and they have, they've got money, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wish you could take from Nebraska, like facilities wise, uniform wise, whatever it might be, and bring it to Montana, or it's something that would elevate Montana? And they'll never, I mean,
Yeah.
we will never be Nebraska just off of sheer size. And
Exactly.
All right now.
but there's probably something. Hey, I'm being realistic, right, Sam? Mr. Realistic. I'm just saying, is there anything that you're like, whoa, they had this one thing that Montana didn't have that I feel like if they did have would bring a lot more players there?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like this, like you said, like the sheer size. It's just hard because they have so much more money pouring into the program that they could use so many places. But I would just probably say the the food, like the
Whew.
players.
Boy has
'Cause,
steak
you
every
know,
day.
yeah, you got training tables, so it's like you got a place just for the athletes. You know, food, however much food you want, whenever you want it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something that like Montana, we have the food zoo. Shout out to the
Come
food
on,
zoo.
cut it out. Cut it out. Cut
No,
it out.
no. Listen, shout out to the food zoo. You know, we made it work. You know, we were in there. You know, every single time that it was opened
Faithfully.
up, we was in there. You know, chicken strip night. You know, they
For sure.
they had some good
For
stuff. But
sure.
it's
The
just
chicken strip night was legendary. I'm not even
yeah,
gonna front.
exactly. You know, the line was out the door, chicken strip night. But it's different, you know, because it's not just for the athletes. Obviously, everybody's
Yeah.
there. You know, so it's but yeah, like just the stuff that Nebraska has, like that type of stuff, you know, like they had, you know, more like anything that comes with like a bigger program with more money, like the recovery and stuff like that. Like I wish Montana had that, and it would obviously bring a lot more people there. But like it's crazy how similar the places were, though. Aside from just like that, just it being a college town, a football town, you know, like Montana's kind of the Nebraska of the FCS when it comes to like historic tradition, and like the fans are going to show out every single time, and the atmosphere is just absolutely unbelievable. Like I really want y'all to experience a Nebraska game for sure. Like if we can find a time next season, go out there and I'll take y'all to a game. Like it's crazy out there, but it reminded me of Montana. Like when I wasn't like out there like scared, like oh my god, it's such a big crowd, because I played at Montana. Like they come out like no matter what. So yeah, it was, but it's a lot of similarities, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, but obviously they have more money and stuff, so they got more resources.
No, for sure. No, I appreciate that insight.
So I want to get back to the NFL. Give us a funny story from your time in the NFL. And along those lines, who's the funniest player you've ever played with and what made them so funny? So first, give us a funny story, and then you can talk about if you can remember one. If not, it's fine.
Yeah, I might need a second to think of one, but I will say I played with a lot of funny players, bro. Like, who do we? First of all, who in college did we play with that was like
Yamin Sanders?
Yamin Sanders. Yamin's still hilarious. Shout out to Yamin, bro.
Love Island All Stars.
Yeah, bro. He's on Love Island All Stars.
I think so. He's on some Love Island. I've been seeing him lately on IG.
He's a reality TV star.
He was on the first season, I think, of Love Island USA.
He's back on now, though. Check his IG. He's back on.
Yeah, we was all watching at the crib. Me, Justin, Germ. I think Sam was there for we were showing out for my boy. But shout out to him.
Yeah, it was funny.
Green Bay, Sammy Watkins was hilarious, bro. Like, the funniest people. Like they're not trying to be funny. Like sometimes like they are a little
dead ass,
funny, but they're just naturally like hilarious. And that's how Sammy was. He was always cracked because we got him like towards like the end of his career. So it was more like it's not like he didn't care. Like he obviously, wanted to be great. He went out there and he balled out for a lot of the season, but he was just happy to be there, always joking around. He's a very like spiritual guy. So he'll say things like you see that butterfly right there? That butterfly, I was a butterfly in my past life. Like just things like that. Man, what are you even talking about, bro? He's like, if you don't get it, you just don't get it. So it just that is what makes like football so fun, bro. Like, but I mean, I have a couple funny stories of my time in the league. I think a lot of them come just from Green Bay, just because it was kind of my rookie year, and I was there for a few years.
Yeah.
I think just in general, just to talk about A-Rod, like it's A-Rod, so coming in there, the rookies, we're just like kind of starstruck with him.
Yeah.
And it's like he's like, oh, like what's up, Samori? I'm like, oh my god, he knows my name. Like, Aaron Rodgers knows my name. But like. He would just have all of us so spooked, bro. Just because and he's really smart for how he does it, because he makes it so you can't ever relax in a meeting. He's always in the middle of a meeting, Coach LaFleur, whoever be up there watching film or doing the install, and he'll just randomly ask questions, to, hey, Samori, so if we had this route, how would you run it? Like, where are you exactly getting to? What's your landmark? And what am I looking for you to do on this route?
Did you ever mess up?
Exactly. So there's no, in meetings, like, you can't just, doze off. Because if he sees you doing that, he's going to ask you a question. So, because I've been other places in the league where it's like, no one's doing that. So guys will be on their phone sometimes, or, just not.
That's crazy to me.
You know how meetings get, bro. It's long. Yeah. Like, you lose your attention span after a while, but he just kept everybody on their toes. And it was the same thing in walkthroughs. Like walkthroughs, we would have a little tennis ball that he would throw, instead of a football, just, throw tennis balls. And if you didn't if you were lollygagging or not paying attention, he'll throw the ball at the back of your head. You know what I'm saying? He's accurate.
Yes.
So he would low key beam you a little bit, yeah, you better look. Because, we had this thing called peeking, where it's like, if you're lined up in the slot and somebody blitzes off your face, no matter what, if you have like any type of vertical route that's
You're
not like
hot.
a hitch or like a slant, you got to give eyes back because he
Mm-hmm.
might just. And if you look on his film with like Randall Cobb and Devontae, he did that so many times where it's like, how is he just getting a free 10-yard throw and then there's nobody there and he can run for 15 yards? Because you're lined up at the 3 or the 2, you get a nickel blitz. There's the next level is the safety back there. So if you look,
Yeah.
with eyes, he'll pop it into you. And as rookies, like we're not really thinking about that. That's not really a thing in college. You don't go that deep into blitzes off your face, look back. So like it'd be a lot of times where like someone will blitz off our face and we're still running the route, not looking. You get beamed with the tennis ball. It's like it's just certain stuff he would do to just keep kind of like the rookies in shape. And he would be hard on us, but it made all of us better. And shout out to A-Rod.
Nice.
Shout out to A-Rod.
Like
man, that's
that.
elite.
Another Grizz that's played with A-Rod. That's pretty sick, man. Hopefully Dylan's gotten his ATV for side-by-side
Oh yeah,
from A-Rod.
is that what they got for?
Yeah, the alumni got side-by-sides from A-Rod. So did you guys get a gift at all?
Bro, he gave out gifts to the O-line for sure. He gave out I think I want to say he gave everyone like big flat screen TVs, all the O-linemen. And then I'm pretty sure the O-linemen, I'm not like 100%, so don't quote me on this, but this is just what I heard. So y'all know what white elephant is? Like white elephant?
We exchanging. Yeah.
Well, no, we did that with Peace, right? Did we do a white elephant?
Yeah, I got a
yeah. He would just give us all his old stuff from his basement.
Yeah.
Wednesday seat bag.
He would just grab, for sure. But I'm pretty sure I don't even think he was in it, but his white elephant gift was a car. It was this nice like I think like Land Rover or something like that.
See, that's why you got to do a price limit.
Well, how we do it is a price max or a price limit to where it's like it can't be anything under like $1,000. So you can.
They're saying price. Price limit.
Minimum.
Like,
There's a minimum.
We're talking price.
There's a ceiling.
Different tax brackets, Sam. Different tax brackets. We're not. We don't even play in that.
No, me. I wasn't really messing with that either. I'm like, damn. Like I don't spend a band on nobody. Like what's going on? But I think like his gift was kind of donation was a car. So and then like a practice squad lineman ended up getting it. But I'm thinking like if I was in that room, bro, imagine like you open the gift and it's like keys to a car, and then the person that goes next can steal it from you.
Oh,
White elephant.
yes.
Like, whoever got that shit stolen from them, oh my goodness, like, you gotta be sick.
Gotta be sick.
Yeah.
What is the best gift that you've received in your time?
So last year, DJ got the whole receiver room go-karts. So he got everybody this nice like little go-kart, and then like we drove him around the facility and stuff like that. So shout out to DJ, as he should, 20 million a year. Come on, bro. Like break it.
Yeah. You got
You still be driving it or what?
No, I actually don't, because like I was in Chicago, and then I went to like after I got released from there, I'm like, how am I supposed to get this back to? I think it's still my storage unit in Chicago right now. I'm pretty sure.
I'm about to go Storage Wars out to Chicago, baby.
Man, what?
Miss that note.
Bro, just think about, there was like a Storage Wars episode one time, and like somebody had found one of Ocho Cinco's old storage units with a bunch of Louis and like just think about how many storage units around America, like NFL players who moved around and just never went to get their stuff. Like,
nah,
bro,
I got my stuff on auto pay, boy. I'm not missing no payments, because whoever gets that, they're definitely gonna come up on a nice.
Come up.
Oh man.
What's the best smack talk you've ever heard, and who was the player smack talking? That could be college, it can be NFL, it can be in high school.
I've heard Keyshawn Nixon is quite the talker.
Yeah, bro. He talk. He just runs his mouth all day. As a DB, I feel like you have to. I mean, not all DBs do that, but he's a talker for sure. I mean, I played with him, but obviously, in practice, he was talking, all day long. That's just kind of. But you need a guy like that, with the energy, just to keep going. I would say Jack Jack.
Ooh,
Jack Jones. Yeah,
yeah.
he talks a lot too. I played against him a few times in I think two different times with Miami this past year, and I can't remember what other team he was on. We had joint practices with him, and he got it in, bro. He's just like a little jackrabbit. Like he's always talking,
Like a
getting under
dude from
people's
Long
skin,
Beach.
doing the little extra stuff. So I think, yeah, Jack Jack and K9. I think it's them Cali dudes, bro. Them Cali dudes.
Cali dudes, man.
Keyshawn's from California?
Yeah, he's from California.
Mm. Is there a specific talk that you ever heard that just had you like, oh, that was nice?
Nah, because it's like people don't really say crazy stuff, like they don't like bring up like it's not like they go on Instagram and look up your girl's name. I haven't played with nobody like that.
Yo, we did that one time our senior year after you left, Maury. We did that.
Too. Oh,
so we were going to play Eastern Washington, and we were going to the Inferno, and that was before. So it was like a really big important game, and like I don't think Sosa did it. I think Sosa was like I don't feel right.
Nah,
like,
Sosa, bro, don't put that smile on my boy. Sosa would never do something.
Good man, good man.
But we were all like,
guys, come on, guys, that's too far.
No, but it was Trey Weed. It was one of their best corners. I think he was a Washington guy. He might be an FSP guy. Keenan, you might know him. Anyway,
no, he's not. He's a Sumner.
We all were just trying to troll for the week of the game, so we all followed his girl on Instagram, and like we were like, oh yeah, this is gonna get in his head and everything. And then it was like we lost, bro. So then afterward, I was like,
did he say anything?
I don't think he said anything. I don't even think he might not have even
saw
it. But I remember we did, bro. And he definitely saw it, yeah. And I caught a touchdown on him though, so I don't care.
But yeah, nah, because I think like, bro, in the NFL, like it's not just somebody's like girlfriend. It's like these dudes got wives and
yeah, it's real. It's real.
So I feel like when you see people like actually fighting in game, like it's probably something like that. Like someone probably got a little bit too personal.
And I'd imagine there's a certain level of respect, right? Like there is the fraternity of guys that have played in the NFL, similar to the NBA, where it's like, yo, you made it here, you're good enough. Like. Yeah. Why am I going to do some petty stuff? Like, let's just let our game do the talking.
Exactly. Like, bro, a lot of time people are like way too focused and to talk and too tired out there. Like, dudes be out there tired. Like, bro, I don't even have the energy to talk. But, them guys who grew up like talking, nonstop, like it's nothing to them. So, you get a little bit of everything.
For sure. Man.
How do you like Nola, man?
Nola's dope, bro.
You should be there right now, actually. Huh? It's Mardi Gras.
I know it's Mardi Gras. I'm seeing the videos. They're going crazy out there. But New Orleans was dope, bro. Just because it's so different from everywhere that I've played in the league. I've even in college, like, bro, I went from Montana, Nebraska, Green Bay, and those three in its own is like it's all the same thing. Like it gets cold as hell. Like and it's not really like too much to do. No big cities, nothing like that. Chicago was like bigger city, but still freezing cold. So it's my first time being in the South. For like a long period of time, and I just like it out there. I like the culture. I like the people out there. Super cool. It's a very it seems like it's a very close knit community out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they show mad love and support to the team. So I've been enjoying it out there so far.
You get yourself some beignets?
I haven't yet. People keep actually my girl really wanted to get some. Yeah. So I gotta try. I haven't tried it. I try, a lot of food spots out there, a lot of soul food, a lot of Caribbean food, So
you have some gator yet?
Huh?
Did you have some gator yet?
No gator. No,
you gotta have some gator.
He not really immersed in the culture like that, man.
Come on.
I know, but like, bro, it's a lot of food to try out there, and I'm like,
facts.
I was only out there for like a couple months too, so I'm definitely gonna get into all that.
Yeah, for sure. Wanted to kind of ask this, like, obviously the NFL is everybody's dream, but I think they don't realize the business that it is, and so. You understand the business of it now. What's the biggest business reality that young players aren't ready for coming into the league?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna say it's really just like what have you done for me lately type of league, and they're
Mm.
always like, no matter how good you are, they're always looking for somebody to replace you. Like every single year, they're not trying to get you up out of there, but it's like, look, I want to let you know we have these guys coming in. So like, I've had like a roller coaster. Especially this last year was like a roller coaster for me, bro. Like, I already peeped the business side of it coming into it. you know, you always hear people say it's a business. That's one thing, but to actually be in it is another. So
Mhm.
like me coming in, seventh round draft pick, I kind of saw how it is. Like, obviously, anyone can get an opportunity. You can be undrafted, get an opportunity. You see a lot of undrafted players, become Hall of Famers, seventh round picks. But it's like it takes a lot of hard work just to even stick around, and it also takes opportunity and a little bit of luck too. Like, all of that stuff factors into it. Like, you gotta work hard to get your opportunity, and then when your opportunity comes, you gotta hope everything goes right to where the ball can come your way, and then you gotta make the play too. So it's like
Mhm.
it's a lot of stuff that goes into it, bro. Like, because like this year was like my first year of like really being hurt. Like, I'm always hurt when I get released from a team. When I got released from, the Packers, I was hurt. When I got released from the Bears, I was hurt. But like those two times, I expected it almost. Just because like you can kind of tell when you're going through training camp, it's like,
Late in camp,
yeah, you like, okay, I'm not getting a lot of reps,
you start doing that math. You start
Yeah,
counting.
yeah. But like that, you can't do that though. That's the one thing. Like, you can't be
Yeah.
like, look at the 53-man roster and be like, okay, they have 6 DBs, these are linemen. So where do I fit?
Yeah.
You just got, it's hard to not think about it like that because you want to, but you got to just go out and play. But like
Facts.
when you're in the fourth quarter of the last preseason game, it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna make this team. Like it's one of those things, bro. It's like, okay,
Hey.
I don't think. But like, so like with Green Bay, I kind of saw that coming uh during training camp. And same thing with the Bears this last year. Like
Mhm.
I felt like I had a decent camp, but I felt like I didn't get, all the opportunities I wanted, yada yada yada. So like I kind of saw that coming as well. It's like it reminded me of when I was in Green Bay. So like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna make this team, you know, and I was kind of prepared for it, like I said. But then, so it was a really like, that was hard for me too, because when I got cut from the Packers, I was with the Bears the next day.
Mhm.
Straight there, it's 3 hour drive. I'm there, new team, and then, but after I got cut from the Bears, I was on the couch for a little minute, and
Mhm.
that was kind of like not a wake up call, but I'm like, damn, it made me really like appreciate the game more, and kind of realize how much it meant to me when I'm on the couch. Like, I was having workouts every single week, with teams. I had my workout week 1 with Denver. I feel like I had a good workout, but it's like we only had 15 minutes, to run, like,
Damn.
do some indie drills and run like 5 routes, you know. And they didn't end up signing me. They ended up signing another receiver that was there. But then you fast forward, I think like a month and a half. Then I got that call back from Denver. I think someone had got hurt, so I signed there. So I'm like, okay, like, because at home I'm like, damn, like, what am I gonna do? I'm working out, training, staying ready, flying out to all these different workouts, getting my hopes up, having good workouts, and then having that conversation right after, like, you had a good workout, but it's just not the right time. Every team had the same spiel. So I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I don't know if I'm gonna play. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to play again, because it was just tough. But end up getting that call from Denver. Went out there, and it was crazy because my first week with them, straight to London. Like, my first time we were
Yeah.
flying, we were in London. Got back to Denver. Uh, I liked the team. I felt like I was doing good in practice. Like, everything was kind of like, okay, like, because that was my time where I was like, look, like, I asked God for another opportunity, and He gave me another opportunity, so I got to make
Yep.
the most of it. And then I like I said, good practice. I felt comfortable there. I liked all the guys, and then I got released like 3 weeks into it. I think Pat Surtain had gotten hurt, and another linebacker had gotten hurt. So like they needed to clear out space for those positions. But that was my
Hmm.
first time getting cut, and I didn't expect it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah.
Green Bay, Chicago. I was like, okay, I kind of see how this is working out. But I'm like, damn, I've only been here like 3 weeks. Like I've
Yeah.
been here for like a month. Like I didn't expect that call on my off day, and I had just got an apartment out there too, bro. Like I was sick. I was sick because I just bought this apartment. Now I gotta pack up and go back to the
Yeah.
crib. So it was just a lot of ups and downs this year. But I'm definitely grateful for it all, and definitely have a good idea of what the business side to it is. You got to just prove that you're valuable in any way you can.
During you talked about that time, where you were sitting on the couch and it really made you appreciate the game, but also in that aspect, did it make you think about like life after football and what kind of where does your mind go when you think about life after football?
Yeah, that was honestly, another thing. Like I didn't want to. I wasn't fully in that mindset yet. Like,
Yeah.
damn, this might be over. Like, what am I gonna do next? Because like, I just don't think like that. I'm like, I know I'm gonna get
Facts.
another opportunity, eventually. But yeah, it definitely did cross my mind, bro. Like, what do I want to do? Where do my values lie? And
Hmm.
I definitely, had a lot of thinking to do about that. And I've never been like super scared, of life after football. Like I know it's gonna be a crazy transition. I know I'm gonna miss it a lot, but I've always been able to kind of like find my way through things and find things that I love to do. So I've definitely been looking into, in real estate, maybe buying some properties, investing, even either buying or starting my own business. I definitely started to look into that stuff for sure. But my mind was still mainly on football.
Yeah. And that's kind of honestly, bro, like that's kind of how it's got to be because when like you got to be, and that's what people don't, I don't think a lot of people, because a lot of people are always like, oh, you got to look at what's next. You got to look at what next. And like, yes, there's value in that, but also like the reason you're where you're at right now is because you were so singularly focused, because you could be locked in on one thing so hard.
Exactly.
And, so it's like, it's
Yeah,
kind of hard to,
you don't want to let yourself like I'm not letting myself be denied. Like this is what I want to
yes.
do, and I'm gonna go do it. But
Yeah.
you also got to keep an open mind because it's gonna end at some point, bro. It
Facts.
always does.
Yeah.
Sometimes sooner rather than later. So it's good to be prepared for it, but you got to give it your all, bro, while you can. Like even while us like growing up, like I'm sure it was guys people who told you like football is not going to be for your college. Like you're not going to get a scholarship. You're not going to, do all these things. But you don't listen to it, and you just lock
Yep.
in and focus and do what you can.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
I
Facts.
always tell people, I always tell like young guys, if I'm like working out at the gym, FSP, and I see a guy that maybe is playing overseas or trying to make it. I always tell them like you have this really, really, really small window of life that you actually can pursue this thing that you love, and
Mhm.
then once that's done, and you put it down for a year or two, your knees don't move the same way, brother. You cannot get in and out of those breaks as quick as you can right now, right? Because you're in it. Even a week off for you and then getting back in the gym, like you're still in it, right? Once you take an extended period of time off, you're cooked. Like
Yeah,
there's just no going back,
for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
So good for you for keeping that mindset and just saying like, no, this is what I'm gonna do until I no longer can, right?
Yeah,
Like they should
exactly.
have to pull you off the field,
Exactly. No, and
you
that's
know?
like a message a lot of coaches like give. Your career is going to end at some point, and 9 times out of 10, it's not up to you. It's not your
Yep.
choice. You see superstars like, I'm done. I'm putting down the cleats. Like those are like few, few guys will be able to call it quits on their own. Usually they're kicking you out. Like, hey, appreciate everything you've done for us, my guy. But we got this rookie coming in running 4.3, so I'm gonna take you on the flip side. That's just
It,
kind of how it is. So
it's a
you
Yeah.
young man's game.
kind of fight to stay around and be useful.
But even the blessing of, not like the blessing of being in your position is one that's like, man, you got to have gratitude every day, right? And when we talked to
Yeah,
Dylan, it was kind of that like, man,
Said
there's
the
guys,
same thing, man.
yeah, it's just like, dude, there's guys at work. at Amazon delivering packages that probably used to play college football. And it's like you have a totally different perspective of life, and you're just like, got to be filled with gratitude, even in those times where you're hurt, when you're like, man, like what? But it's like, I had the opportunity to get cut. Like, I know that's a weird spin on it, but it's like, I got a ticket to fly back home from an NFL team where there's guys not even getting lunch money from Amazon to eat.
Exactly. That's how you got to think about it too, especially in the dog days, and even in college, it was like that. Like, where would you rather be? Yeah, it's 5:45 a.m. It's still
groundwork,
2 degrees, and you got to work out. But like, where would you honestly rather be, bro? There's thousands of people that would kill to be in your position. When we were in college, bro, a lot of people, don't even make it that far. So it's like, you got to kind of like do it for those guys,
Yeah.
Like, it gets tiring, NFL training camp, but it's dudes who wake up at 5 a.m. to go to a construction job and they got 4 kids to feed, bro. So it's like, it's all about perspective, and it's easier said than done, when you're, tired and you're going through it, but you got to be grateful, bro. You have to.
Well, you got us normal guys to keep you grounded, because
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, okay, I want to ask you this. I feel like every player at this doesn't even have to be in the NFL. This can be in college. This can be in high school. But I feel like every player has maybe one player game you would like back. What would you say is that play or game for you? Like that one play in your head where you're like, for example, let me give you an example. 2018, when we lost to the Bobcats and Cat Grizz. I feel like I always rattle this in my head. I should have told Dalton on one of those downs, hey, throw me a fade. Like, let me see if I can make a play. And, Keenan, you probably felt the same way. Like, yo, I should have just, like, yo, just throw me the ball. Like, I always think about that.
He didn't have some games against the Cats, man. I don't know how much more
Yeah. Facts.
But, yeah, I think there's a lot of plays that I want back, bro. I'm trying to think.
No, facts. There is.
I know. Was 2018? Did we play them away? That was a away game, right?
No, that was at home. That's
2017.
You're thinking of 2019. 2019, we played 2017 and 2019. We played there.
2019?
Yeah. Are you about to say the play I think you're gonna say?
What you said?
No. You said.
No, say it. I want to see if everyone else remembers like I do.
Is it against the Cats?
Yeah. A Cats away game. Fumble.
First play of the game.
First play, huh? I was gonna say first drive. First play.
It was early. Yeah,
I think it might have. It was the first drive, and we were backed up, bro.
And it got ugly after that.
Yeah, I mean, because we got the ball first, bro. So it's like, okay, we got the ball first. We got school. We know they get the ball after half. I think I ran like an out route, and we prided ourselves so much in not running out of bounds. Getting to the sideline, turning up that gritty, get what you can. And I caught it. I think I turned up, and I think I had the ball in my inside arm instead of my outside arm. And that's one thing that, like, I think all college players should take note of is the importance of what hand you have the ball in.
I see that so much.
Yeah.
In the NFL, that peanut punch.
My rookie year, Coach Variable, my receiver coach, he was like, I don't know what it is, but all these college guys that come in, like they don't focus on which arm they have.
They don't teach that anymore, bro.
No, they don't.
Not detailed.
I never even thought about that in college, but DBs are getting so good at punching the ball out, bro. You got to have that ball to the sideline to where if they punch it out, like it goes out of bounds. But I had my ball on the inside. He punched it. They got it. 10-yard line, scored 2 plays later, turnovers, bro. Like,
it was in the student section too.
Yeah, it was right there. It was loud. It was loud in that mug too, bro. I was like,
yes.
Dang. And I also fumbled. It was crazy. What I was thinking about when that happened is like I fumbled my first ever reception in college too.
You did?
2017, we were playing. Who we played first game? I think
Valparaiso.
In the all white. My first play.
Yeah, Valpo.
The same post wheel combo that we always ran.
Yeah.
And caught it up the sideline, tried to cross field, and got it out. But I ended up getting on that one. But
you recovered.
I vaguely remember that.
I didn't have a lot of fumbles like throughout my career, but I fumbled that first game and then that Cat game. Yeah. And then another one was my last play ever for the Packers. It was 2022 or no, 2020. It was technically 2024 because it was like one of the last games of the year in January of my second year playing against the Vikings. It was a blowout. We were up like 30 points, but I was back at punt return. I think it was my first time punt returning in a regular season game, and I was like, bro, like I wasn't getting out there that much. I was still, they were only sprinkling me in when dudes were tired or dudes were hurt. So this was kind of an opportunity for me. So he put me back. I'm like, I'm returning this. Like I don't care. I'm not calling a fair catch. And that was just like kind of dumb and selfish looking back on it because, bro, it's not about you making a play. I don't care how little opportunities you get. Like you gotta do what's right for the team. So it was a good learning moment for me. But shit, punted the ball super high. The most clear fair catch you ever seen in your life, bro.
Yeah.
The corner completely whiffed. The gunner had a free shot at me, and I'm seeing him coming, and I'm like, bro, I'm catching this. Like, I tried to catch it. He times it up perfectly and puts his helmet right through my knee and ends up recovering the ball at like the 5-yard line. They score like 2 plays later. It was a blowout, so it wasn't like a game changer, but that's like the most sickening feeling. And I got injured on that play.
Yeah, right.
My knee. I fractured a bone in my knee, so I was on IR the rest of the year. Try to come back. Training camp ended up getting released, but I'm like, that was just like it was a big play. I wish I had back, but I learned so much from it. That it kind of every loss comes with a lesson. So
Yeah.
Those are 2 plays I definitely want back. You hate turning the ball over, bro. Y'all know how it is. Like,
oh, I know it.
You got dudes coming up to you on the sideline, like, you good, bro? Keep your head up.
Don't talk to me, man.
I'm not hearing that, bro. Like, I appreciate it, but I'm not hearing that, bro. Like, you didn't just cost your team 6 points, bro. So,
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because as soon as they walk away, they're like, damn, he fucked up.
It's even worse when dudes don't even come up to you. Like, because,
damn, you're not even going to fake it, bro? You're not even going to fake
it? College is kind of different because, like, I was like, a main player for the team, so it's like, come on, like we need you. Keep your head up. Yeah. Sometimes like when I muffed the punt, like dudes were coming up to me, keep your head up. But it's kind of like some dudes like, come on, bro, like what are you doing? Because like it's everybody's families and money on the line. So it's like it's not. So those are 2 things I definitely wish I had back.
Well, I'll ask the inverse of that. Give us one play that you're proud of in the NFL, and then give us and you got a lot to choose from here. Give us, and I'll even expand it. Give us your favorite play from Nebraska and your favorite play from when you were a Grizz.
Okay, Grizz, Nebraska, and then NFL.
NFL, yeah.
All right, Grizz. I would say one of my favorite touchdowns was Portland State. Because that was like a revenge game for me because there was another team that I was in their backyard. They didn't recruit me. I was like, bro, how do y'all not like y'all aren't even good, bro? At least back, I'm like, y'all aren't even good. Like, how are you not? I'm right here.
That is crazy. It's still crazy to this day.
So being able to go play there, 2019, I had 3 touchdowns, did my thing. But there was one play where I had caught, I think it was like a spot route in the middle of the field, and then 2 defenders kind of like converted.
They sandwiched you. Yes.
They both kind of hit me, but kept me up.
Yeah.
I ran and scored. That one, like, it wasn't like super like memorable, I think, to everybody else, but to me, I'm like, like I'm in my home stadium. I got the fam here. Like, I'm playing against these guys that didn't recruit me. And I've always been kind of like undersized, as far as like weight wise. So having one like that where like 2 dudes bounce off me and I run in, like that one felt pretty good.
You played some high school games there?
Nah, because only the state championship. They only play the state championship there.
Can you believe that? They play at a high school stadium. That is beyond me, bro.
Yeah, no, that was bad, bro. It wasn't even the one where the Timbers play at. It was the Hillsborough Stadium.
Yeah.
Nebraska, I would say my touchdown against Ohio State. I had a good game against Ohio State. I had one where I got tackled on the 1-yard line, and then another where I scored. I think I was in the slot and I was man. The nickel had me man. No safety help. I kind of just he was sitting at like 7 yards, ran, got on his toes, crossed him up.
Cook
Adrian
that boy.
crosser, and then I just turned up the sideline and ran. It was like I think it was like 60 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
That one felt good just because Ohio State was them. It was a primetime game, and I knew that was kind of a big game on that would matter when it came to the NFL and what scouts
Yeah.
they look at plays against teams like that. So that was probably my most memorable play with Nebraska. And then in the league, probably my touchdown. The touchdown that I scored Sunday night against the Bills. And that one was memorable just because, first of all, it's from A-Rod. Like I said, that goes to say for itself. But it was a scramble move. I think Teron Johnson, shout out FCS guy, Weber State.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was pressing me. It wasn't man though. He was just kind of pressing. So I inside released him, and then got on the safety like 10 yards, 12 yards, and ran like a deep post. And I was kind of looking over my shoulder, and I saw that was cut off. The safety was sitting right there where I was supposed to go, and I knew A-Rod was big on scramble moves, and that's kind of just how he played. So I figured if the safety's right here, then there should be no one over there. So I kind of just pivoted and kind of did my own thing and just ran to open space. And he threw that like that was supposed to be the route. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
He's so good, just working on the fly. So I had, bent the scramble move back the other way, and he dotted me in the back of the end zone. So that was definitely a memorable play for sure.
That's dope, man. How many people can say that? Like, I caught a touchdown pass from Aaron Rodgers.
Nah, for sure, bro. It's definitely like I'll never forget that moment at all.
Man, that's dope.
All right, we got two more for you. One, I want to ask you, your Mount Rushmore of wide receivers, who's on it?
And you don't have to include me in this, okay? No.
It can be all time. This will be all time. Yeah.
I was joking.
Okay. My Mount Rushmore. Dang. Okay, you gotta go Randy Moss. Like, we're going all time, any receivers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta go Randy. Gotta go Jerry Rice.
We can do all time, and then we can do Montana. Sorry to cut you off. Continue.
Was it supposed to be Montana? We can do Montana.
No. You just got me thinking now. You got me thinking now.
Okay. Jerry Rice. Randy Moss. Calvin Johnson. Yeah, that's like a top three.
We argued about this earlier this week. That's why I'm Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson? Who didn't have Calvin on the Mount Rushmore?
No, I just said that.
It was a different discussion. It was a different discussion.
Anyways, sorry.
I was still right.
It's probably Julio.
That's a very good four. I like that.
Keenan feels vindicated.
I feel vindicated because I said Calvin Johnson and Julio, if they had longer careers and if they had won Super Bowls, would be arguably in the conversation for the greatest receivers. Like, they transcended. You put Calvin Johnson in Jerry Rice's time,
yeah,
all those records are shattered.
Like, what?
It's not even close.
But like, there's a lot of good receivers that it's just top four is hard, bro. I thought Larry Fitz came to my mind too.
Larry's a good one as well.
Hall of Famer, man.
Yeah.
Okay, now do your Montana Mount Rushmore.
Ooh, that's tough, bro.
You can put yourself in there too if you want.
Yeah, you might as well.
I'm not gonna include myself in this one. I will probably be on my list, but I'm not.
The easy thing would do the guys that made it.
Yeah, but like, that's not always like in my mind, bro. Jamal Jones got to be up there.
Six, the original six.
Yeah, for sure. When I like first committed to Montana, like, I didn't know a lot about the program. I don't know if y'all did too. Like, before you,
I knew nothing, absolutely nothing.
I didn't know nothing about it, but I like looked up the highlights, and I was watching a lot of Jamal Jones highlights, bro.
Boy was going stupid.
Hey, I got a first class ticket to that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, And even you like kind of told us stories when we came in about Jamal and just how he coached
Elite.
and everything. But Jamal definitely got to be up there. Mark Mariani definitely got to be up there.
Yeah. Facts.
Um, feel free, y'all can chime in too.
We were talking about this, I think, offline. Because
I'm
we were
trying to
talking about,
think.
like, obviously. Oh, you know who I think we put in there? Did we? I don't know if we put Michael in there. I think we put him in there as an athlete because we were
Michael.
like,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nah, but he only
Wortham.
had 1 year though, man. He only had
Yeah,
one
but man, that
year.
year. Did you watch much Montana football this year, Samori?
Yeah. I caught. I'll probably say almost half the games,
Yeah. So we were talking about we had Michael Wortham on, and like,
bro. I was
Matt
like,
Wells is one I think of who played with he played with gosh, 95 quarterback. Why am I forgetting his name? Dave Dickinson.
yeah,
Um
yeah.
they
And
had some, man, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't really know a ton of the great receivers at Montana
Shalon
either.
Shalon Shalon Baker.
Shalon Baker
Touchdown
for
Baker.
sure. You met Shalon, right, Maury?
yeah, of course. I think Junior has a good argument too, bro.
See, this is where we got kind of hung up on because we felt like Junior loved Junior.
Yeah,
Junior
Love that boy
brought
to
me
death.
lots of joy,
yeah.
but we felt like where he made a lot of his
Punt
was
return.
at punt return. Yeah, so we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
like, can you include him? Because at that point, you have to compare him to Jerry Louis McGee,
Exactly. Jerry, yeah.
and
Jerry's
Jerry
a whole
ate.
other conversation, boy.
He just didn't have those aspirations to like try to play. I
Shout
don't think.
out to Jerry Louis McGee, man. Can we
Yeah,
shout out Jerry?
yeah,
Yes.
Like obviously he was a fan favorite when he played. Like everybody loved him. He was like everywhere you go is like Jerry, JLM. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
but he was such like the most down to earth, like cool guy. Like, cause bro, when I came in, I was nervous, bro. I'm like, damn, like this is like a whole new thing, going into college, like so many people, 25,000.
Jerry
And
didn't
he
take
just
shit serious.
nothing. He just
Take
around
that
like
serious, bro.
like just whatever, bro. He could care less about anything that came with it. Like he just
Bro.
wanted to go out there and ball.
I
And I
love
would go to him,
Jerry.
I'd be like, Jerry, bro, like like you make it look so easy out there. Like, how do you? He was like, bro, just go out there and play. Like, you're gonna be fine, bro. Just go out there and ball. I see you in practice. Like, you'll be fine. Shout out to
Yeah.
Jerry, man. He was crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Jerry was different, bro.
So I guess that takes us to our last question.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to say Jerry, but if you want to, hey. Who has had the biggest impact on you and your football career?
Ooh, that's tough, man. It's taken so many people to get me to where I am. It's you can't just credit one person. Like there's a lot of there's probably like 10 plus people where if they weren't in my life, I wouldn't be where I am today. But
Who were
if I
some of
had
the
to go back,
standouts?
I would probably say one is Houston Lillard. Shout out to Hugh. He was my first like real trainer in high school. He trained me and Jaden Grant all the time together, and he was the first person that like told me that I was gonna go to the league. And at that time, I was a junior in high school, and I didn't even know if I was. That really wasn't on my mind. Like I knew I could try to play in college, but he was like, "Bro, you got it. Like you can go to the league." He had that confidence in me, and he was like my first experiences of really training outside of football. Because early on in my high school career, I'm just like I play football when it's football season. Like, but
Yeah.
he had me out there in the summer working on my feet. Getting a little bit faster, working on my routes, working on my fluidity of like releases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just off that belief alone is like he kind of changed my mindset to where I want to go play in college, but ultimately I want to go play in the league too.
That
And then
first person that believes in you, man, is game changing, man. Like just that,
for
like
sure,
that does something for a kid, man.
yeah. Because a lot of times, like you don't want to tell kids like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna go to the league, bro," because like sometimes they'll let it get to their head. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, but him like he knew I wasn't one of those guys, and he probably knew I needed to hear that if I wanted to work towards it. So,
Yep.
shout out to Hugh, man. and he's still doing great things here. He has his own 7-on-7 team, and he's working with a lot of the youth like he did with me. Um, and then Coach Pease too, bro.
Yeah.
I got to shout out Coach Pease. You know, he he was just a good coach. Y'all know how he was, man. He had high standards for sure, and he kind of just he made us very competitive. I think just in our room, like
Yeah.
he coached us very well on just like the little things that come with receiver that you're not really focused on, and just like he pushed us, bro. Like he pushed us hard. Like he wasn't taking 98% effort. Like
Oh
he
yeah.
wanted you to always strive for it. And I still talk to Peace sometimes, reach out. It was funny. I hit him up like recently when I was thinking about coming to Grizz Cat, but I couldn't make it. Um, he was just like, man, yeah, like shout out to you. You made it farther than I thought you would. And that
He ain't shit.
he said,
Bro, he's so
I
honest.
you around. Yeah, but like that's just kind of how he is, bro. Like, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a compliment from him, believe it or not. Like
Facts.
he really did believe in me, but he like
He did.
that's just how he was, man. I love Coach P.
But y'all remember when we got
Bro,
the 411 on Peas? Y'all remember when Keenan came to us and he was like, "Hey, bro, like I heard this, and that," and we was expecting Peas to come in and he just shocked us, bro. Like he was way better than what I ever thought, man.
He was so much more, and I think he needed that stop at Washington. And we had Peas on the pod, but he needed. Sorry. He needed that stop at Washington. I think it like brought him into a different headspace when he came to us. Sorry, that's my dog, y'all. But where he came to us and like he was still old and like really hard on us.
Yeah.
But he was also chill. He was also cool.
Exactly.
He also saw things. He had to be like the good cop to Coach Houck and Rosie.
Yes.
Exactly. And like he was good at like he wanted obviously the offense to run how they picture it, like you gotta, do the right steps and stuff like that. But he wasn't so restricting to where he still let us, kind of ball out a little bit and play your own style of receiver, like
Yeah.
I might not run a route the same way you're gonna run a route because we have different body types and styles, and he let us kind of do our own thing while still being in the scheme of the offense, and he put that on showcase this year. Like, bro,
yes,
shout out to Coach Pease. As an OC, he was.
Imagine if we had him, bruh.
Yeah, bro. I'm actually thinking like they're gonna dial some stuff up this year.
Yeah,
like,
bro. Like
their offense is gonna
the way
be
he was putting
good.
like the players like Michael in position to do well, like just doing what they're good at. Like that's the same thing coaches do in the league, bro. People try to complicate it, but it's really about getting the ball to your playmakers in space and just letting them work. And another cool thing about me being with the Saints now is I didn't know this, but Coach Moore, Kellen Moore, actually
Pease coached him.
Coach Pease at Boise State. So we kind of had that connection there. We had a laugh about it. Like he's like, Coach Pease was your coach at Montana? I was like, yeah. And we just laughed like, man, like we both love Pease and we both know how he is, as a coach and just as a guy, he really like brought us together, and he kind of like shaped me at least a little bit, as a man, just because you want to approach life like you approach football. So when they put so much like structure and discipline, and just having that standard of how you're going to do things, that doesn't stop at football. It translates, outside of the game as well, just in life. So shout out to Coach Pease and shout out to Houston Lillard. Those two were definitely, very important in my football career. And I know I'm missing, a lot of people, but those two guys were just the first that came to my mind for sure.
Nice.
What's up, man?
We got a bromance because you were on his Mount Rushmore of top receivers.
Oh, really? Coach Pease?
Yeah, we asked him to rank his top 5 receivers, didn't we, Sam? And Samori was pretty high up there.
Yeah. Well, you actually gave him a list of receivers, and you wanted him to rank them.
I think he might have put. I think he
You were
put you above the
top three,
Boise
though. I
State
think you were
guys.
top 3 though.
Yeah, you were above the Boise State guys.
Because you said Ty Young was in there.
Ty Young, and then the other guy, number 2, who I can't remember his name now. But then I think you were right, maybe below
Cedric Wilson.
No.
Oh, he
it's
coached
another guy.
Central Wilson too.
No, he coached number 2 from Boise State years ago. His name was Austin something.
Oh, okay.
Miles Austin?
No, not Miles Austin. Look at you thinking about the Cowboys because you're a Cowboys fan.
Well,
no, but he put you up there. But yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Maury. You know, I got love for you, brother, always, and appreciate you for jumping on the deep
Yeah,
ball. You know, we're still young, so we appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
of course,
man.
man. Y'all
Appreciate
my
you.
guys. You know, I had a good time talking to y'all. Miss y'all. Miss all the good times we had in Montana and at Sammy's wedding, man.
Yeah. Oh,
Man.
and at the golf course when I took Brendan Corbin's money. Oh, I had to give him a shout out.
You gotta send that clip to Brendan because he's probably still sick about it.
He's still sick about it.
How much money did you take?
I just took a little 100 from him.
Damn.
On the last hole, though.
On the last hole.
Sick.
Yeah. It was great. So,
Well, appreciate you,
man.
brother. This
Hell yeah.
D-Ball, Keenan Curran, Samuel. What you got another shout out you want to make?
Nah, I was just gonna say shout out to D-Ball, man. Love what y'all are doing.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate y'all, brother.